Good morning, motherfuckers. I'm feeling mildly hostile today, and you're all just gonna have to deal with it. I have finished cleaning all the ceiling bits out of our facilities, and I can finally focus on my own work again. So today I will be talking with you about whatever the heck I want, because I have time to talk about it again. I'm free from death threats, I'm free from cleaning, and I'm free from worry, because most of you can't reach me down here. I have been able to snoop into everyone's business again, too, and boy are a lot of you less crazy than you let on. Like, these people I talk with always talk about how much awful shit they do, but then when I listen to them, it's kind of just small talk and eating things. I guess I can't really hear a lot of evil plans while you're eating waffles or something. You guys might not have waffles, actually, but whatever. You probably have something you're eating that could be considered waffle-shaped. Or just dirt again, I guess. Do you guys actually eat dirt? I keep saying that, but I don't actually know the nutritional value of dirt. Maybe you have some sort of machine that can make dirt into an edible substance. I wonder what color it makes it. I'm gonna go with pink. Pink is a very food color. Like raw meat, but edible. Some of you may actually be able to eat raw meat. I can't even eat meat at all, honestly. It doesn't sit well in my stomach. That's why I try to trade it when I can. I'm not sure if I'm allergic to meat or something, or if it just doesn't settle in my stomach all that well. I've gotten very distracted. I should stop talking about food or I'll get hungry. Let's move on for now. Today's broadcast will be partially about secrets and hidden info. Grandpa kept his secrets in really random and odd places, like 100 floppy disks with pictures that you have to stitch together into what appears to be some kind of treasure map that can only be deciphered using a code found on one of the floppy disks written backwards in what appears to be pig Latin. Needless to say that it will take me a bit of time to figure out what weird secret was on these. I knew Grandpa pretty well, though, so I have a pretty good idea of how to decode his stuff. Grandpa was very paranoid about the stuff he valued, and no one really knew exactly what he was hiding, though he never hid the porn, so it can't be that. He said it was too important for the world to have access to it. Still don't get so important about it. Anyways, Grandpa kept a lot of his secrets hidden from the rest of the bunker, and honestly, it's probably for the best, because even though he started this bunker and invited a lot of people to live here, they were grateful, but they still didn't really like him that much. Grandpa was eccentric. A bit odd is probably an understatement, so eccentric works better here. Even if I only think of him as odd, and everyone else thinks he's eccentric. He said weird stuff, did weird stuff, and was an all-around weird guy. But he was still nice enough to save all those fuckers from their deaths. Maybe he was just insufferable when he was younger or something. I don't have many stories from back then, just my own stories from while he was still alive. I suppose I could ask others someday, but I'll get there eventually. Before I continue, it's that time again to do a small ad break. I've got 2 for you today, actually. And the only reason I'm even telling you ahead of time is because I've been asked to record a new Shids Tech ad, as they weren't happy with the last one. Last time I used a pre-recorded ad for Shids Tech, and as it turns out, the script I used wasn't good enough. I may or may not have stolen it mostly from an ad from like 100 years ago, so it seems like they want me to make my own, I guess? So here goes, and this is the one that will be used from now on for pre-recorded ads. My friends, do you wish you had a cushy place to live like me? A nice home to settle down in and hyperfixate on whatever random things you wish to? Well, have I got news for you. Shids Tech is offering high-quality underground bunkers to each and every one of you. That's right, chums. Shids Tech cares about you and the survival of every human, or in some cases, non-human on Earth. All you have to do is... and you're all ready to become a Shids Tech family member. What's the price, you ask? Well, that's the thing. It's entirely free after you pay for it with money. So why don't you join us today for the best Shids on the market? Shids Tech. When you're here, you're at least alive. And then here's one from the Brittle Armaments Group.
Are your arms broken, breaking, or battered? Then bring them down to Brittle Armaments! Are your weapons too malleable? Are they getting bent out of shape after a couple of uses? Come on down to Brittle Armaments. Do you want some shiny new weapons that will definitely last you a long time? And a convenient no-contact way of ever getting your money back? Then come on down to Brittle Armaments. Brittle Armaments. If it doesn't shatter, it doesn't matter.
Well, there you have it, folks. I'll be using these two and a few others I've helped put together instead of interjecting like this. Instead, I'll probably just say something like, and now a word from our sponsors, like they used to say on old radio shows. I'm getting closer to a real radio show, guys. It will make my life a bit easier since I won't have to make it up on the spot every time. Okay, I think my guest will be ready soon, so it's time to give you all a quick lesson before he joins. I have gotten a hold of one of those night weirdos and convinced one of their younger members to speak to me. You may be wondering why I keep calling them knights, though. That's K-N-I-G-H-T. Knight with a K. Well, you see, back in, I don't know, a few years ago probably, there used to be these things called kingdoms. Well, these kingdoms were run by kings and queens and dukes and dickheads. Well, these dickheads were all pushed around the common rabble and told them what to do and made them pay just to be alive. The king was in charge, and the queen was, well, she was his personal ownahole. If you don't know what an ownahole is, look it up. If you can't look it up, I'm not explaining it while on air, so get fucked, I guess. You know what, that's kind of what one was anyways, so I guess I did explain it. So the dukes and dickheads, or whatever they were actually called, I don't really remember, were the ones running the show. Now, remember how I said they pushed everyone around and made them pay money just for being alive? That was something called taxes. Taxes were an evil demon that they created that robbed everyone but the wealthy of their wealth. This demon forced them to pay it. Or they were threatened with jail time, or even death. Usually death. It wasn't only kingdoms that had this demon as well. Turns out, under our previous capitalist system, we also employed that demon, and it acted basically the same way. Although there were too many people to steal money from, so they decided to make this group do its bidding, called the IRS. Now, I don't know what that acronym stands for, but I can make one up. We'll say it's the Intentional Robbery Syndicate, because they did the stealing and accounting for the demon named taxes. So now that you know about all these people and the demon of money removal, now we get to the people that did the bidding of these folks. Knights. Knights were basically the law keepers of the lands that did these such things. They would go collect taxes of the peasants or people who were beneath the nobility or dickheads, as we have discussed. If the peasants couldn't pay the knights right then and there the money they owed or anything that was valuable enough to be used as a substitute, they would haul away the leader of the family and force them to wait in a dungeon until they were given a trial. This trial was usually just a cruel way of murdering them for not doing their job, and it was mostly to set an example for the rest of the common rabble, to force them to do the work that these dickheads didn't want to do. Those knights, though, were different. They got to steer clear of all that work, so long as they sold out others beneath them for the good of the nobility. We had these as well, but they had a different name. We called them the police. Though it was hard to find their real name, as Grandpa always called them some kind of, police slur. Like the Popo, or Pigs, or the Fuzz, or my personal favorite, Donut Fiends. So at this point you may be wondering why I've told you all that. That or you're too engrossed in your food or a menial conversation that you didn't hear a lick of it. Well, I'm telling you this because knights back in those days of kings and kingdoms were kind of like our previous police. They kept law and order and mostly just did the bidding of rich people. They were kind of cool, but only when they went to war instead of accosting the peasantry. Knights were these dudes who ran around in shining metal armor that defended them from blades and arrows. Blunt weapons were pretty much their major weakness, but they weren't impenetrable like my home is now. Yes, they may have been considered walking tanks, but these folks were still vulnerable to the cold embrace of death like the rest of us. Well, those knights were, at least. I don't know about these new ones. Their armor could be quite different. They could also have no armor at all. I suppose I shall find out later. Anyways, needless to say that the knights then and the knights now are very different, but they share one thing. They like to keep the world in a sense of order. However, these knights don't really keep the order in the same way. They do it in a much different way. They keep to themselves, mostly. What they really try to do is protect information. Knowledge from the old world can be very dangerous, and they try and keep certain bits of knowledge alive by preserving it, and try to keep other bits of knowledge away from the populace. What they don't keep safe or keep away, they destroy. Whatever happened to this world so many years ago, we may never know about it. We may never know how it happened or what it was. These knights have most definitely destroyed any trace of information as to what it may have been, at least in the areas where they inhabit. Though they aren't all dusty books of information, they also take time to revere those that came before us and made things that are so important to us that they could make us better as a community. These people are founders of their order, or even people that made certain technology or discovered certain helpful things. Thankfully, they don't revere that guy Donald Reagan, so we're good for now. Read more about that guy, by the way. Boy, was he a twit. I'm not going to get into it now. Anyways, these people they revere are designated as saints. One of them is from the original founders many years ago. This guy called Benjamin Franklin is their first saint. They said that he was the one who discovered that we could use something called electricity. A lot of people say he invented it, but I think they just don't have a great use of vocabulary. That is, they think that some old guy from a long-ass time ago created lightning. I've read about this guy, actually. He was a founding father in the USA, or United States of America. I guess that's what this place we live in used to be called, but, like, it definitely has no semblance of what it used to be. I found pictures of what my home used to look like, and, it certainly doesn't look like that anymore. And 100% can't grow that much corn, either. The trains still exist, though they're a little harder to use nowadays. Seems like they needed Benjamin Franklin's invention to work. I've heard about a few that run on little black rocks, though. Some even ran by using water that they heated up. Where was I? Oh, right. The saints and such. One of their other first saints was the first leader of their order, Max Rogerson. He was the one that had decided that they should protect the world from the secrets of the past. I honestly kind of disagree with keeping all that info locked away, as some of it could really be useful to you folks out there in the wasteland, but I know it would be a tough sell to get them to give me some of that info. Well, I know of one more saint from what I've gathered while listening in on these folks. They revered someone who I don't really know the name of. Some guy who made a bunch of weaponry that they try and keep a hold of. I have to guess they go by Saint Brown, but it doesn't make much sense. They keep talking about Saint Brown's blessing as well. Apparently this dude was a genius when it came to the creation of firearms. They revere this guy so much that they all swear by his most famous creation. That would be the blessing I was talking about before. I do know that they all use it for their weapons training, and they use it to defend themselves at all times. It's like you're not part of their group until you have one. All I know is that it's definitely a gun. Probably. Yes, that's about it that I know, but we're talking to someone to help me figure out exactly what gun it is and why they love it so much. I sure have gotten very distracted while trying to introduce this guest. Probably pissing them off by not contacting them sooner. Oh well. Not the first time I've pissed off a guest. I'll finish with explaining a little more about these knights, and then I'll go ahead and contact them. So, they protect knowledge, destroy knowledge, and they reveal the creators of important things. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, they kind of aren't in some ways. They're very secretive, and they also don't let outsiders join their order very easily, and they don't let those born into it leave very easily either. The things they keep are very important to them, so everyone they keep is important as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get in contact with this very important person and see what they have to say about their life in this order of knights that I don't have the name of yet. We're going to radio into the frequency we agreed on. Hello, Flats, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sure do like the sound of your own voice, huh? You were talking so long I almost passed out.
Oh, you were listening? Sorry about that.
What? No, I wasn't listening. You told me when you'd be ready, and I've been ready since then. Besides, there's people here listening to you already. Not my job to keep an eye on you.
Oh, that's unsettling. To be fair, though, this is a broadcast, so lots of people are already listening. The keeping an eye on me is what scares me. I don't like it when people keep track of me. I'm deep in this bunker, though, so I suppose I don't have to fear you guys that much.
Dumb idea, dude. You don't know about those bunkers as much as you let on. They're all connected.
Oh,
Yeah, I know this because all of us got our start in that bunker like yours. We still have control of it, and our tunnels might lead to yours.
well, that's... I don't think I would have liked that knowledge being out there.
Now you know how it feels to have your info put out there, huh? So what questions do you have for me, buddy?
Let me collect my notes. I think what I have here won't be too intrusive. Nothing I haven't particularly heard about already, after all. I'll start with the basics. What is your order called?
Knights of Cognition. My chapter is in the main branch, but we have other bunkers where we work. We've expanded quite a bit since I was a kid.
How long have you been a Knight of Cognition?
Dunno. Always been here since I was little. How long have you been stuck in a bunker that just fixes broken garbage?
About the same amount of time, since I was but a young bastard. So I've already explained to everyone what you guys do.
Without our consent.
Well, maybe you guys shouldn't talk right next to tech that can be remotely operated. Those old terminals of yours aren't exactly perfect. Anyways, I wanted to know what you guys actually do with all that information you collect.
Well, mostly it's just archiving. We collect and store information, then we archive it deeper in a way that even if everything here gets destroyed, we can still find it again. We also have to keep the peace in our area, but only really right nearby. We don't leave very far, as if we did, it would just be a liability.
So how do you guys store all that information then?
Not gonna talk about it. It's not really something you need to know.
Alright, fine. I'll ask something else. Do you guys ever keep the law for anyone outside of your order?
Not really. If they don't help us, we don't help them. No reason to, after all.
So, you're not really peacekeepers entirely.
I don't know, man. Are you really a radio host if only your friends listen to you?
Sorry, but this interview is about you guys. Save all your questions about me for the end. Why don't you guys leave your base?
Same reason as the last question. No reason to. We get nearly everything we need here, and everything we need from outside can just come to us.
Traders?
Yup.
So you know about Clover and his group, then?
Yup.
I'm starting to think I should have asked around a bit more for someone who may have been a bit more of a conversationalist.
Maybe just get better questions.
Alright, smart guy, then answer me this. If you guys don't leave and you don't help outsiders, how do you have all your connections?
We get new recruits all the time asking to join. Sometimes they're helpful with other groups. Sometimes they die on their first mission, just depends what we ask of them. But they always do it, because they want to be safe behind our walls and our bunkers.
Wait, what do you mean they die on their first mission? What missions are you sending these people?
Well, sometimes your mission is to get a trade group to work with us, which isn't as easy as you think. And sometimes it's to go to a den of some beast and get some information. Sometimes that information is about the beast, and sometimes the information is what the beast may be guarding in its area. We may also ask people to go underground in a possibly toxic environment just for a few scraps of stuff we couldn't get ourselves.
Why sacrifice these people, though? Wouldn't it be more beneficial to help these people so they can help you in the future?
Nah, we're too paranoid around here. Plus, Cole tells us what we're supposed to do most of the time, and we usually don't have to worry about how anyone feels.
What? Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, seems like you're still being listened to. Me too. Guess I can't talk about that.
Wait, you're being live censored on what you can talk about?
Yep, looks like it.
Well, it seemed like you were gonna talk about... Wait, why did it cut out for me? Oh, fuck, they're censoring me too. I guess that one's top secret. Someone blabbed about it a while back, and that's how I learned of it. Come to think of it, they kinda sounded like you.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I never divulge secrets about my beloved order. Want to get back to the interview now?
Yeah. So, why do you bother with these potential recruits if you're just going to send most of them to their deaths anyways?
Well, if they come back, then that means they're worthy of working with us, because they can do what they're told.
That's a little unfair when sometimes the mission is talk to some guy to get a trade going, and others are go and try not to die to these weird monster creatures.
Hey, I said beasts. Monsters are a different story. We send only the most confident recruits to monsters.
So you must have done one of these missions too then, yes?
Nope, I was born here, so I don't have to. They already trust me, so why would I need to go do a good faith mission?
Oh, so these missions are about trust and not skill? I guess that explains why you send people you think aren't worthy to their deaths.
Hey man, it's not my problem. These people want to die to get in here. Maybe they should just have better lives outside of here.
This all seems highly unethical.
Well, it's more ethical than what happens outside of here. We just don't want to make sure to keep the peace.
Well, fair enough, I guess. I want to move on to the next topic. What's this relic I keep hearing about? I never heard anything specific from anyone. I just said everyone has one, and they call it St. Brown's Blessing.
Oh, St. Brown's Blessing is a gun.
Okay, what kind of gun?
Come on, man, do I have to explain everything to you?
Like I'm an outsider, yes.
Oh, right. It's kinda just a pistol that we have a lot of, and it's really easy to use. Legend has it that it was tested on cows many years ago, so, you know, that they're pretty strong. Those cows are tough.
I keep hearing about cows and you guys in the same sentences. Can you fill me in on that?
No.
Well, at least you were quick with a no. So, this St. Brown, who was he?
He was written as the greatest firearms inventor to ever live. I don't know how true it is, because sometimes saints get a bit talked up over the years, but he did indeed invent our favorite sidearm.
So he made all the best stuff a reality?
Dunno, wasn't there.
Why do you guys idolize these inventors and thinkers?
Well, without them, some of the greatest ideas could have never been invented, so we believe that their work must be preserved and spread throughout the world.
Spread? How? You guys just said you don't leave.
Yeah, we're getting to that part. We just haven't been told to spread our teachings yet.
So, these people. I initially thought you treated them like deities. Is that correct?
No, they're more like heroes of the world that changed it for the better. And at least that's what we're taught.
You think a gun manufacturer made the world better?
Damn straight I do.
Sounds like you folks really like guns. I guess you really like your saints, too. How does one become a saint, anyways? Who decides that?
Saints are canonized nowadays by our leader. He's like our overseer, but mostly he just tells us what to do. We have a lot of stuff telling us what to do here.
Your leader. Who are they? How are they chosen?
Oh, them? And they're chosen from the main family.
Sorry, your feed cut out again. Must be a storm nearby or something. Well, I guess I'm not going to get down to that info hole anytime soon. To be honest, I'm out of questions.
Cool. We done here?
Not quite yet. I wanted to pick your brain real quick about what you think about this organization.
What I think they're a bunch of lazy bastards who rely too heavily on what others say to do. They don't want to go out and do anything fun. The place is boring as hell sometimes, and I'm sick of reading the same stuff. At least I'm not one of those pencil pushers that just rewrite all our beloved stories, but damn do I want some action. We have all these guns, but we never use them. I'd love to go out there and just kill some of those freaks and monsters sitting around waiting for justice, but says we can't leave yet. I ask almost once every few days at this point, but everybody keeps telling me the same tired response.
Whoa there, Tiger. That's a lot to parse through. You don't sound too happy with the way things are. Does anyone else feel the same way?
I guess. But they're all too afraid of the outside world to want to join me. I can't leave and do it for myself either, because my family would have a fit.
What do you mean? It's not like you're a member of the main family or anything, right?
Of course I am. I think I got something for you.
Hang on. I don't think I heard all of that. However, if they censored you, that probably means it was something important. I'll just have to infer that you must be a member of the main family now. Good job, censor guy. You really fucked that one up.
Maybe you should have censored your question.
Well, he didn't, and now I'm scared they're going to try and cut this short, so I'll ask you one last thing. If you were in charge, what would you do? Would you really go out and actually keep the peace like you guys say you would? Or would you also wait to be told it was okay to start going out more?
I'd probably just ignore what the others told me and go out there. I don't care how smart they think they are. Staying in here all the time is fucking cowardly and weak. We need to take some action out there and stop some of these savages from destroying this world even more.
I can't agree with you more. Some of the stuff I've learned about the outside world has really unnerved me. Though I think I might prefer a more diplomatic approach to making it more peaceful. If they don't like the approach, then yeah, yours might be a bit better.
You know what, Rabbit? I thought you were a bumbling dumbass who didn't know what was what, but now that we've at least gotten to talking a bit, I know you're a bumbling fuck, but at least you aren't a dumbass.
Thanks?
You're welcome.
Well, I have no further questions, so unless you've got something you want to ask me, I think we're good to sign off here.
What's it like having all those books and not having to fight with higher-ups to read them?
They're pretty dusty and gross, but they have some good info. I just wish we took a bit better care of them. My bunker only cares about the restoration of tech. At least I get to have this radio show thanks to them, but they all get so carried away with tech they forget that there are other things that we can do.
Neat.
Well, goodbye then, Flats, and I hope we can chat again soon.
Probably not. Bye.
Well, everyone, that was probably the best interview I've ever had. No one tried to kill me, and it didn't get cut off at the end like most of the others. I actually got to finish all my questions and not have to be constrained by time. I only wish I would have known more beforehand so I could have had more questions, but that was great. Plus, I think I made a friend, too. They probably don't have my guts already, so I'm still safe. I'm not in that bad a standing with their group either, so far. I guess I just need to be careful for now and not piss them off. Pretty sure I was close to doing so, but at the very least, they were able to stop me from learning anything that may have gotten me into trouble. I think now I finally have another wasteland friend who isn't crazy. I only know of 2 of the other guests so far that weren't crazy, and I guess we'll still have to see if that stays that way. Regardless of all that, though, I think that'll do it for this broadcast. Next time, we'll be back with a very special guest, a guest who may or may not be able to carry a conversation for a whole broadcast. I kind of hope they can, as I don't really want to have to make something up to talk about next time. I got lucky with the demon story this time, but that's because it was on theme. Yeah, that's it. This has been Rabbit, and I hope you have a rad rest of your day, because you'll have to anyway.